Right. So I know that the more common thing to do would be to give like a overview of the PC build and then do run the benchmarks with it. But I've already run benchmarks for Fortnite and whatnot on this PC, and I've even got like a short that I made with it showing it running. Because of that, I'm not gonna go do like I don't to save myself on editing time. I don't want to do this and then try and plug it back into another monitor to do benchmarking and whatnot. So right now we're just gonna keep it simple with this $300 build, and we just kind of wanted to give a quick rundown. Sorry for a shaky cam there. A quick rundown of what I've done or what I paid for, what you expect to, and of course, they tell you some things that you can do to save some money. Well, I guess it also depends on the fluctuating of the market or whatnot. But I think this is a pretty fucking solid deal for this. This case is ARGB. It's got a million different settings for the light. Like it's really does have a lot of settings. So I don't want to take it off this one because I have to rotate through the entire thing to get back to it. So, but it's ARGB. Like, of course, some money could have been saved on the heatsink. That was like $30, and you definitely can get coolers, CPU coolers for this motherboard as low as $10, and which is going to be in the next case that I review. Now that 500-watt power supply, that's probably the one thing that kind of bums me out for this. I live in South Florida. Recently had a Micro Center open up in Miami, and the first time I went down there, I wanted to just get something. So I grabbed a power supply, thinking, well, it's close enough to what I normally pay, which I think was like I totaled out around like $54 or whatnot. But you can actually get these. You can actually get the 600-watt power supply for the same price, if not cheaper, on Amazon than what I paid for this one. So I was a little bit salty about that, but it doesn't matter because the GTX 1080 runs in here just fine with the 500-watt power supply. I tend to like to go at 600 as my minimum. And recently the 650s have come down to the point where they cost about as what the 600s were costing. I'm not sure why the market's fluctuating so much on the power supplies, but I guess maybe that's because the newer GPUs all gobble up power or whatnot. So the lower end power supplies maybe aren't selling as well. But anyway, so a quick rundown of the prices here. The motherboard was a combo off AliExpress, the LGA 2011 with oh no, actually this one wasn't. I'm lying. I actually did buy a combo that got mixed up during that thing. It was actually my fault. It wasn't AliExpress's fault. Where I got the wrong board combo, so I wound up just scrapping that whole idea and buying it locally. The motherboard's like $50. You can get the 2680 version 4 Xeon CPU for like 15 on eBay, and I bought the Pinnacle kit, those RAM sticks, a 16 gigabyte 3200 hertz set. I think it was around like $30. But I'm sorry, I'm looking at multiple lists here. I got them mixed up. So the case, the Bitfinex white case, I paid $41.69 for total out the door, shipped on eBay. It was originally listed as an open box for $39, so that's extremely good. I'm pretty sure this case averages like around $60 new. Or 100% new unopened box or whatnot, and I found a seller on eBay that has multiple of these for sale, so I grabbed more than one. Simply because of the fact that it's hard to find a fan that has or a case that has this many fans already. It's got 3 fans. It comes with 3 fans, and it's ARGB setup, so it's got the ARGB the block in the back, which is great. You don't have to spend any extra money. Me personally, I don't want to pay more than $55 for a case. Like, so $60 and up is kind of off limits for me because right now I am building to sell. So it doesn't help me out if I'm spending all kinds of extra money on the case when people are trying to buy bottom dollar all the time. So the SSD is a 216 gigabyte. For you guys that are building on a regular, you know that the price of SSDs or memory in general is just going up. And again, I'm trying to pinch pennies, which I'm not going to be doing anymore in the future. I'm just going to pay the extra couple of dollars. But this one in particular has a 260 gigabyte, and the key to the success for this computer is that blower style GTX 1080. Now, It runs Fortnite on epic settings, and it's, I've seen as high as 100 FPS out of it, and that's on epic settings, and the average is usually around 70, 80 FPS. So I would imagine that going down to performance mode, you're looking at like 200 plus FPS, which of course is what matters the most, right? You want to maximize on performance. It's just that the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because there's so many reviewers out there to talk about, or they give computers, they do reviews for this price range, 300, 400, even 500, and you see them building with an RX 580 or the AliExpress 580, which is I've heard a million times is supposedly like more like closer to a 570. I did build one with that. My first PC I did build with a 580, but I will never do that again. I think it's a waste of time and money. Generally speaking, I went through I did a whole bunch of research for a couple of months and played around and bought a couple of different style graphics cards, and eventually I've settled on the GTX 980 and the GTX 1080. I think both of those you can get at a pretty consistent price range, although that does fluctuate pretty often, which is why I kind of like camp out on the listings and then buy them when I get a good seller offer or make offers when I need one. And consistently, I've bought multiple 1080s at around $80, $85, and I've bought a handful of GTX 980s for the $40 to $50 range. So if you're looking at Fortnite is your thing you want to do, and you're trying to keep it on a budget, you can buy a GTX 980 and run. GTX 980 is very capable of running high settings Fortnite at 70, 80 FPS. And the GTX 1080, like I said, runs epic for the same settings. So if you want if you don't want to spend $1 million for a graphics card, you can get the GTX 1080 or the GTX 980 and run Fortnite with absolutely no issues. You'll run whatever esports you want to play. It'll run it with no problems. And very soon I'm gonna be starting to testing this out on AAA titles. I'm going to be getting a Black Myth Wukong here very soon and testing out that on there. And I have supreme confidence it's going to have no issues running it on there. And again, this is a GTX 1080 and the blower style, and the fan runs super quiet, right? I did take out that bar here, the one that goes in between to make sure it wasn't blocked. And it's almost nothing. You can't hear anything. And even when you're gaming, you don't really hear anything. Like it doesn't kick up and it stays cool. I think if you watch the benchmarks, you'll see the temperatures. But I think 60 degrees Celsius is usually what we get when it's running, and still like it's not blowing hardcore. So I was a little nervous at first about getting the blower style. It would be a noisy GPU, but it's not. It's great. And yep, there's that. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see actual gameplay footage with this, the proper benchmarks, just go to the channel. There's not very many videos uploaded right now, so it's not gonna be hard to find. And it's the E5 2680 Xeon with the GTX 1080. So, all right, guys. Hopefully, you got some insight out of this. And I'm gonna be reviewing another computer that's essentially a clone of this, minus a couple things that have been downgraded, and this cost me $250. So again, $250 for the lower little cousin for this that runs high-end stuff too. All right, guys. So again, this channel will be something that focuses on running the most FPS per dollar, guys. And I just want to show that you guys can still build custom PCs and make PCs for $250 to $300, and it doesn't have to be a Form Factory PC to do that. Like you can get an ARGB custom PC for $250 to $300 that runs AAA titles. All right, guys. Peace and thanks for watching.